But having said that, several law enforcement agencies here in central Indiana say they're not going to enforce that statewide face mask mandate so far. Sheriff's departments in Hamilton and Johnson County and Whiteland Police Department all saying they are not going to enforce this order. And this morning, Madison County Sheriff Scott Mellinger is joining us by phone to talk more about that. Sheriff, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. We have been discussing this a lot lately when that announcement came down on Wednesday. Sheriff, tell us how you are going to approach this come Monday morning. What will you be doing?
Well, for now, we will respond to calls from either businesses or other organizations where maybe a client or a person coming into the business is refusing to wear a mask. We will only respond if the caller feels that another crime might be committed. For people who might call 911 to say, I see somebody in this business or this organization not wearing a mask and not social distancing, we will not respond to those if the exclusive reason is someone not wearing a mask. We will respond if the caller thinks, that there's going to be a confrontation or there already has been. We will absolutely respond to those. I am actually in favor of the mandatory mask order. Quite frankly, I think our governor has done a fantastic job with COVID-19 response. But we have to prioritize where we deploy our personnel. And we barely have enough people on any given day or time to answer regular 911 calls.
So this is not like an objection maybe that you would have about the legality of it. We know Attorney General Curtis Hill said, you know what, this needs to come from the General Assembly. It cannot come from the governor's office. Is it more of that concern on your part, or is it strictly a manpower issue?
Well, it's more a manpower issue and prioritization of the personnel we have, of the resources we have. As I said, we're not going to refuse to go if someone is causing a scene at a business or an organization. We will absolutely take those calls. But I fear that a large number of people will call 911 every time that they see someone not wearing a mask. But if there's not going to be some type of confrontation, or if a person is refusing to leave a business or an organization, then obviously we will respond because, quite frankly, as I said, I agree with the mandate. I think it's more of a moral and ethical issue, and that people just simply need to be considerate of one another. Yeah. But until there's different clarification from the governor's office, or better clarification on this being a misdemeanor, because quite frankly, in Indiana, if a misdemeanor is not committed in the presence of an officer, then the officer doesn't have authority to make the arrest.
Wow. It's really amazing how much, I didn't want to cut you off here, but we're running out of time. It's amazing how much emotion has been wrapped into this. We knew that the governor, when he announced this, he said the mask police won't be out, issuing citations. The governor said he hopes that this would be an education issue, a civic pride issue. So we understand and feel for what you're going through. Any final thoughts as we wrap up?
No, just that this will probably evolve. We will take directions from a prosecutor as well as the governor's office, and I don't want people to think that we're not going to respond to calls. We will if there's something more going on than just somebody not wearing a mask.
Yeah, but bottom line, please do not call 911 if you observe that. Sheriff Mellinger, thank you for your time. Take care and be well.
Thank you.